Yes, organic onions, bunching ones.
They were weedless at one point.
They were weedless?
Many times. So what we do in here is we're taking two things off. We sell the scapes, right? Similar to a garlic scape, except they're hollow inside.
And that'll fatten them up?
Yeah, and it also, the thing I find with shallots is if you seed them from direct seed, they take a long time. You get one solid. When you put the bulbs out, depending on when they go out, you tend to get quite a few bolts, which still form a nice shallot. But I find that I have to dry them in the field, because what happens, or I sell them once they start to grow up, because what you see is where, like what I call this the bolt core, right? The bolt core is what I call this. Is these guys are just starting to size out, but if we pull the field and when they're sized out more, and you put them into the barn to dry on like a big layout,
yeah, right,
hanging them, what you'll find is that they tend to break down over time, because this takes a really long time to actually dry out. So if
they don't rot.
If you have like thousands of pounds of shallots and they're all laying out, you tend to, if you're selling them as fast as you can, you'll find that later on in the summer, if you don't get them dried off properly, that thing there doesn't dry down, and you'll end up with rot inside of them. So it's tasty. I like eating shallot. Anyways,
powerful antioxidants, onions.
That's not what we're taking out right now.
No.
I'm just going along, again, because I have this field of shallots and I have that one over there, and we have been harvesting Walla Walla onions, and now they've all sold and they're gone. I like to keep an allium on the stand for people to cook with, because when I go to cook, the first thing I look for is an onion.
An onion, yeah, nice flavor.
I'm just going to go down here and I'll be just taking out ones that look like they've sized up a bit, and even though that's not to the end of the crop, but also because you can still use the greens at this point.
For sure, it's still tender. Absolutely.
The thing about growing crops is that if you're not selling to a uniform market where you have to do one thing, you can sell plants at all different stages, and it teaches people how to use food in different parts of their lifespan.
Dave's imitating bunny rabbits right now too. Oh, that's a nice shallot.
I'm gonna look for ones that haven't bolted.
Yeah. Wow, these are beautiful shallots. The chefs in this town must love you, Dave.
Shallots are a nice thing.
Yeah.
And again, see, I'll probably come down here with a big spring tooth cultivator. It was on my list to do last week and I didn't quite get there, but
right.
I will get here this week, and it'll just take out all these weeds in the middle here.
Yeah.
Take out these weeds down the tire tracks.
Yeah.
Because these things were pretty clean at one point, but again, summer takes on and you don't stay on top of everything, and you turn around and
you're a good steward of the land, Dave Chambers. One of the best I know. I know a few outstanding ones like yourself too, but you're leading the way. But so are many others, but
leading the way 1,000 weeds at a time.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Anything to tell the human race, Dave?
You don't always have to be scared of weeds.
Don't have to be scared of weeds?
Oftentimes they're just part of your own perception. And the thing, well, here's an interesting thing. When you look down here and you see the lamb's quarter, which is lovely,
nice.
Lovely to eat.
Yes.
When they first opened these fields up, this was the predominant weed. But then when we started to use the flame weeder, because it was so vigorous, it was the first weed to disappear. And then
no more seeding.
And then millet came along.
Nice.
Started down there. No, not nice. It was awful.
No?
There was a point where I thought, I'm going to lose the farm to millet, right? Because it just germinates on no moisture, sets those big root clumps out, spans out, sets seeds really fast, and it was becoming a real problem because you could get it out of the beds, but then it would be in the tire tracks, right? And so this is where having a really wide range of tools helps. And so with the Farmall Cub, you have the duck feet on there, which is like on the back behind the tires, it's like a flat cultivator blade. And what that does is it's almost like an underground knife, and it cuts down that low, right? And so it goes under, and it would cut those roots off of the millet. And see, when you look in here now, you don't see any millet anymore. No,
and millet's a nitrogen fixer. It's an annual nitrogen fixer, but
headache fixer.
Headache fixer. Yeah.
But see, so then what happens is you get this weed comes along.
Yeah.
This one, any nerd out there could probably tell me all different things. I call this one smart weed. That's sort of where it got to. But this one's smart. He's like, this has become the more predominant weed in most of the fields now. Is this weed. And the bees really love these little flowers. You see these little flowers?
What is that called, Dave?
I call it smart weed. I have no idea what it's called.
Oh.
Smarter than me. Anyways, so, but over time is like your weed spectrums change, right? And your weeds can become indicators. The other one is the pigweed, right? The pigweed is kind of these two are the dominant weeds in most of our fields now.
Yeah.
Right. Up here you can tell that there's a lot of wetness in here, in this field in the winter, right? There's seams of that.
Yeah.
There's quite a bit of dock.
Underground springs.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of dock in here. And
yeah.
One of the reasons
that's nice dock.
That you're probably seeing so much dock in this one right now is because this was off rotation for a couple of years. And so the way that I off rotate is I'll put it in a cereal and veg. And I'll let it stand in seed all summer until the dew comes back in the beginning of August. And then I'll flail that, and that creates the mulch bed and it reseeds, similar to what we showed you in the hazelnut orchard.
Right.
Right? But during that time, you'll get things like this will also set seed. So sometimes you build up a little bit of other seeds in that whole thing. But I like that system because it's sort of like replicating the boreal forest and the huge amount of mice as the biomass inside of the forest. Is once you start to create those mulch layers like that, instead of tilling them out, you get so many mice living in there, which are doing a whole other realm of good for, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh totally.
For aeration, for all of the,
yeah, it's healthy.
The larger birds for.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the owls taking out the mice. I put the compost in the center of the food forest.
Yeah.
Put it up on a stump, and in coming evening, boy, you want to see the action. Yeah. Well, this is Howie Jones, and I'm just going to videotape one of these beautiful sunflowers. That way I've got a captured, there we go. Oh, look at this. Sunflowers. You got to like those. This is Howie Jones. Much love and respect, everybody. Yep.